everyone. This is the great Lord and Master, Osiron the Eternal, or the artist formerly known as the Great Roberto. I'm trying a new hairdo today, just to see how it looks on camera. You know, it's gonna fucking get a trench coat, go in public like this. Gene Simmons look, I'll get fucking a pair of Tengu Gaeta, you know, wear a black trench coat and fucking look like a fucking nut. Okay, what this is, I'm going to explain every detail on this. It's going to take 6 hours. No, really, I'm not going to explain much of this. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even going to make a video about this, but there's a couple of key things in here that really warrant it. Basically what this is a chart that I found on the internet. And really what it is, it just has a lot of tarot aspects to it, and Zodiac aspects, and you know, it tells you what houses or what, who rules what the sign for each Zodiac looks like, and has the outer, it has the court cards, and it tells you what planet is exalted, and the dates of, you know, the dates for each house, and it has the planetary, you know, which planet rules any given decan and all that, and that's all that really is. But one of the things I want to mention really is, this is, you know, pretty important if you're a tarot enthusiast. One is the court cards do not offset by a decan. I don't know why. Well, I was going to say I don't know why they would do that, but basically what I've discovered, I mean, and I've shown more than ample evidence for, is that virtually everything presented in the occult world, you can safely assume it's flawed. It's presented in a broken manner. I even have a tarot book. It's tarot. It's the tarot and the Kabbalah, and how the tarot relates to Kabbalism. And it classifies itself as a textbook on the subject. And it is a good book if you know that it's almost everything in it is wrong. But it's good because it presents sort of the dogma of what they say it is, but everything's fucking wrong in it. Almost every chart is wrong. You know, that book has the tarot cube, it has everything, a chart similar to this, and you know, the false tree, all that shit, all of it's fucking wrong. But it is thorough in its completeness as far as, you know, telling you what's there. But okay, so the court cards, in this outer ring, I have it, the court cards, I have the color that represents what's going on. So in the case of the Queen of Discs, well, the Queen is water, and the discs are earth. So the beginning is, the Queen is water, and it's telling you it's water, and then the discs are earth, the Queen of Earth. Same thing with my sign here, the Knight or King of Cups. The Knights, or the Kings, are fire, and of course cups are water. The princes don't move, they're cherubic, but they also reside in Tiphareth, which in that case is air. So I put that black, and then disc, you know, for green, and so on and so forth, and all that. So the colors correspond to the elements, and they tell you what's going on. That's really about it. But one thing this video should be short because there wasn't really much to talk about. Is this one of the main reasons I wanted to mention this is because on the magnum opus video, the last one I made, which is amazing, I showed how in the matrix, the tarot spiral, how it basically produced a code of 136, then 163, and then 199, then it repeated again, 136, 163, 199, and it ended on 136. Well, and then I also pointed out how some of the 3-6 combinations would produce the other number, like in the case, like if there was a 3 present, a 6, like if the card reduced to a 3, its stacked root would reduce to a 6, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? Because not everyone did that. Well, I figured out what's going on. in the case where the 3 was first, where it went 1, 3, well, the second number being a 6 would have the other 3 with it. And what that is doing is canceling out that aspect of action. Because if you remember, 9, if you watch my first Proof of God video, 9 is the stillness. 9 doesn't move. 9, it doesn't move at all. That's why it takes a place of, that's why it has the properties of 0 as well as everything. That's why it's divine, because it's everything, but it's also nothing because it doesn't move. There's no movement with 9. Okay, so what's happening, it's actually showing you with the tarot and the zodiac wheel the nature of our holofractal digital matrix. What it's doing is turning off the aspect that's not being used. So what it's telling you is everything is there. Everything is always here. But it's just turning off what's not needed in the moment so it can actually do something. So in the case of the 136 over here, you see the 1, okay? And remember, this is all filtered through the prism of the jewel of creation. So everything, so basically in that world, 1 does appear to be God. 1 is everything in this world because this is the world of matter. So what you got the 1, and then you got the 3, and then the 6. Well, the canceling 3 is produced by either the card root or the stacked root. And that cancels that action, that aspect of 6 is canceled out by the stillness of 9. So then when you add 3 plus 1, you get 4. And then when the 6 was presented first, you got the 1 and the 6, and the 3, the stacked root or the card total would produce 6, and that would cancel out the aspect of the 3, allowing the 6 to do its job. And then of course 6 plus 1 is 7. And now if you add 7 plus 4, that becomes 11, which of course reduces to 2. And what is this material matrix? Well, it's just the actions of electricity, or a binary aspect of 1 and 0. And this is showing you outside of this, sterile nature of 1 and 0. This is showing you a more advanced aspect of the matrix. So this is what you get. That's why I put it on this side, because this is the side that the pillar of Yakin would be on. And if I had put that 2 up here, it would mirror the pillar of Yakin exactly. So if the 2 was put up here, the 2 and then the 4 and then the 7, that's exactly the pillar of Yakin. And that pillar represents duality, and it represents the material matrix. If I had my markers here, I would do that, but yeah, I think you get the idea. And one last thing I want to mention, this is also very important. This is one of on this chart, there's a couple of things that were wrong with it. One is the court cards, and the other one was the person who made the chart had it, I hate this, when they have it go downward, like the way this is presented, you got Aries, Taurus, and then Gemini. The sun is rising, just like it would in nature. But a lot of people do it the other way, and it's fucking ridiculous. They would put Aries, Taurus, and Gemini going down. It's like, why the I can't even look at a chart like that, because it's just so ass backwards. That's part of the reason I made it. Besides, I wanted to draw it out. You learn a lot when you draw shit out. But one of the things, if you can even see this, in here are the numbers. Each quadrant here, remember, this is winter, this is spring, this is summer, this is fall. In each quadrant, the numbers 1 through 9 go in order. So you got 1, 2, 3 in this quadrant, and then in the cherubic it'll be 4, 5, 6, and then in the masculine sign where it's exerting, it's 7, 8, and 9. It's going out. Well, even though the elements don't, it's not the same element, but it doesn't matter, because the queens will always be 1, 2, 3. The cherubics will always be 4, 5, 6, and then the masculine one will always be 7, 8, and 9. So it presents a complete picture of 1 through 9. Well, on the chart that I basically created this from, it has it the other way. It has it like the tarot cards would be. it would have the ace up here as 1, and then it would start the thing off with 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, then 8, 9, and then 10. Well, I want to let you know just how, which I've already done in the previous videos, but how important it is to get the numbers right, because if you're off by even just one number, it's going to radically change what's going on. Right now, the way it is, if you add up the numbers in each house, like 1, 2, 3 becomes 6, 4, 5, 6 reduces to 6, and then 7, 8, 9 also reduces to 6. And then when you add the entire quadrant, of course, that becomes 18 and then reduces to 9. Okay? Now, if you do it the other way, 2, 3, 4 becomes 9, 5, 6, and 7 become 9, and then 8, 9, and 10 reduce to 9. So what that is, so that each house then becomes a 9 when you do that. So you may be thinking, well, isn't that good? Isn't it good if it reduces to 9? Well, it depends where that 9 shows up. Because remember, 9 is the stillness. So what that's doing, and this is a creation of a creation of the material world here. So it should be moving. And when you do that with 9, when you do that, you basically turn this off. You're turning the aspect of creation right off, because it's the equivalent of 0. You're putting 9 in the wrong place and it's killing it. And it still reduces to 9. Like when you add up the elements of 6, 6, 6, it reduces to 9. But not when you have every house 9, 9, 9, there's no activity, there's no motion. It's just it's nothing. It's basically 0, because 9 is 0. So putting that 9 in the wrong place does really bad things. And that is just because it was off by one number. That's it. So again, we're seeing how important toxic math is versus true math. And it's only off by one number. Everything I've shown is only off by 1. And by that being off and putting the 1 in the wrong place, it does nasty things. And you can only assume that it was done by design. Yeah. So this is going to be a short one. This is just a few key things. So thanks and namaste.